Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.
It's March Mania at Sports Interaction. NHL, NBA, March Madness, MLB, and so much more. It's bananas. Play Pinata Picks and Minute Madness, exclusive games with insane odds you can't play anywhere else. Make your next bet with Sports Interaction. Download the app in Ontario using the QR code on your screen, or head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN to get started. 19 plus, please play responsibly. The Sens didn't lose. April Fools. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Game Over Ottawa. My name is Charlie, and that's not Maud because she got to go to the game.
Wow.
I do want to just quickly
so
let everyone
happy.
know. I just want to let everyone know that Maud has given me an update. She did not see any fights break out, so that's good. Anyway, that was a game. Also, please everyone welcome my good friend Austen Eagleson. Welcome to the show, buddy. We've been talking about this for a good while now. And I think we're both very excited that you're finally on the show.
I'm incredibly excited to be here for a hockey game that the Leafs won. I was terrified about coming on this show in a serious game where I had to talk about a game that I didn't particularly like. I don't know that I particularly like this one, but I definitely enjoyed the result. So thank you for choosing this game to have me on so that I'm not miserable.
Well, at least one of us, dude. When you were like, this game was more or less enjoyable for me to talk about, buddy. I'm a host of an Ottawa Senators show this season. There's been a lot of stinkers.
It's been a long season.
Yeah. So before we get into the game, I just want you to talk about yourself for a bit, man, because I don't want to, no spoilers or anything. But you're working at Sportsnet these days, man. Can you tell us about your gig at Sportsnet?
I'm a video editor at Sportsnet. I do highlights for the Sportsnet Central show, as well as other short vignettes for the show from the night's game. So it's a really fun job. I have a great time. Can't really complain about watching hundreds of sports, every day and getting to see all tons of games that you just wouldn't normally tune into, like an Arizona Anaheim game. Why would you ever watch that? I'm at work. It's on. It's interesting sometimes. You see wild stuff. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what we have in common is when people are like, hey, you free Saturday night? No.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Our Saturday nights are not free. Do not contact us.
Yeah.
We are not free. Why are you contacting us? It's Saturday night. We're not here. We're not answering the phones.
We're doing the sports.
Do you even know us that well? We don't talk to each other on Saturday nights.
No.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
No.
Well, technically, I mean, I'm working on a Saturday night. I just asked you very nicely to book off a Saturday night. So.
No. Didn't even have to book it up. Schedule worked out. They knew it was up. That's great too. So
beautiful. So what you're saying is I just took your one free Saturday.
Yes, but what a great Saturday to completely take a break from work to talk and watch sports.
Yeah.
So really getting that vacation and that break from the malaise of the day to day. So yeah.
Fuck. Probably just dying to go for a walk and do nothing one night, but
no, I wanted to read poetry today.
Oh, okay. Well,
some, maybe.
Nothing poetic about this game, unfortunately.
No.
I think we can both agree, and like maybe this is my fucking salty Sens fan after the loss, but like this game sucked. Just like I think even for a lot of Leafs fans, like it's just not. It was just boring. It was just a boring game.
Objectively, not a good game. The one highlight, and I'm not going to be able to say the guy's name right. We had this when we were watching the game. But the guy who scored his first goal, Big Zed, I don't know his name.
Zahorna. What's his first name? I don't know. Radim Zahorna. And that's his his 5th career goal. The rest of his goals were with Pittsburgh, I guess.
I have no idea how or when they picked him up.
The Leafs are his 3rd team. I couldn't have told you he existed. But you know, that's just the way it goes, I guess, with the Sens.
Yeah.
So I do want to say that I'm not that bummed by the outcome. The Sens were playing their rookie goalie with their top defense pair out and another defenseman out, and their top center is still out all season. Like, I know, like, okay, I can't fall back on Josh Norris has been out for the whole season, but like in this case, I think listing off everything, I'm allowed to.
I was gonna say April is the season for the airing of grievances in the NHL, especially when things have not gone the way that you would hope them to go, and you're allowed to air any grievances that you have about the team.
Yeah. And luckily, I'm fucking ahead of the curve. Been doing that since October, like consistently. I'm crushing it.
I came into the league already.
Yeah. I was hired angry, you know.
Angry and disappointed.
Yeah. So I'm going to be that guy. So this is gonna sound silly because it sounds like what I'm actually saying is the Sens. I'm like fighting the result of the game, and I'm saying the Sens shouldn't have lost 3-0. They should have lost 1-0, which is still depressing, but I'm still gonna fight for it. So on the first goal, on Bunting's goal, I don't really think I saw anyone talk about it, but it looked like the play probably should have been called dead. It looked like a hand pass by the Sens, which, like, we were talking about this. You can't really challenge a play when, like, your team was not called for an infraction.
Yeah.
But it did look like there was a hand pass on the Sens just before Bunting took the puck, so there probably should have been a whistle there. So that's a no goal. And then the third goal, just objectively, nope. My dad was
Your
a ref.
Honor.
I can say it. And then the third goal probably should have been a too many men call for Toronto on that one. So I'm just gonna say
definitely get into that one a bit more.
Yeah, I'm just
an hour
gonna
later.
Say,
but
did Samsonov have a shutout? Yes. Should it have been 1-0? Yes. And I will take that to my fucking grave.
No.
So
yeah,
that's that. And end of speech. My dad was a ref though.
Yeah.
I feel bad now. Who did he? Because he went to like an official, like he has like a certificate. It's in my parents' downstairs bathroom for some reason, but he does have like a certificate. Like
you will need to prove this later.
It was
in
like
the
an NHL. It was like an NHL ref, who did like a reffing camp school thing. And my dad graduated from that, and like I feel bad now. I don't remember who. I don't remember what ref was running it. Anyway.
Let's just say Wes McCauley, and
my dad would drop
that's
down.
That's the story we stick it
to. Not a chance. Not a fucking chance.
Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to come to center ice and you're going to pause as much as possible. You just really want to wait for the pin to drop. That's not Wes McCauley. Yikes.
This is going to turn into
love it or you hate it. Like,
yeah.
There's no middle ground on Wes.
Yeah. So I will concede that the Sens absolutely deserve to lose, but by a different score. So that's where I'm at. Where are you at this point?
I really felt like neither team deserved to win. Ottawa. Yeah. Like I wish we had. I know you're over in the land of the football. But yeah. I think games like this, you wish that the NHL had draws because neither team really deserved to win. I think Toronto benefited from having the better goaltender on this night. Not by we said while we were watching the game, the one glove save that Samsonov had right at the end against was it on? No, it wasn't on. I forget who it was on. But just the big glove save was nice to it was nice to have a moment for him in that game because everything else was really chintzy.
Yeah.
And I know like
That
Charlie
might
was
have been
complaining about the
DeBrincat's
short
shot, I think.
whistles. Yeah, it
Maybe.
might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like on paper, it's a shutout. Super happy for him. He's played better games this season that maybe he deserved to have a shutout in those games and didn't get one.
Yeah.
And, statistically, it's nice for this one to come back. But it really felt like after the first, honestly, there really were like no definitive chances in that game where like the pressure was heating up. And whereas that game that went to 4-4 the last time these two teams played, where it was end to end action and great, this really felt like they both really bottled up. I don't know what they were doing defensively, but there were so many transition and offensive entries that like just didn't work out for either team, or people were being kept out to the side. There was a cycle briefly, then the puck went out of the zone, and like again going back to the first, like Ottawa was doing a great job hemming Toronto in their own end. They get that penalty drawn in the power play opportunity that they don't capitalize on. But good hockey and good pressure, but not really a lot of chances out
Yeah.
of that, and that kind of got wasted. And then
Mhm.
same, like I don't think like the Leafs on their power plays, like again, good pressure, good puck control, but not a ton of like very clear opportunities where you'd expect to see like, oh, he like had an open net and missed or whatever. Like there really wasn't any of that. And then the three Leaf goals, like you're saying, like a lot of them just like were like, okay, that's a shot on goal. Not to say that I'm sorry, I forgot the Ottawa goaltender's name.
Oh,
There have been so
Sogard.
many this year.
There's been too many.
So I
There's
just
been
yeah,
six.
I
Six
it's
different goalies have played for Ottawa this year.
there's an editor at work who's a junior B, used to play junior B and was a goalie, like and has a very different opinion of watching goaltenders. And a few weeks ago, he made the comment, "Just make the save, bro." And that's kind of how I have no
Very
idea. Someone who's never
constructive.
played that.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard anyone instruct a goaltender like just make the save, bro. But that's kind of all of those goals felt like. It's like, it's fine that it went in, but none of them were really like a crowded net. Like he could see the puck, no real deflection. He was in
Right.
position where he could have made a save, and kind of Samsonov on the other end just was on the right end of
Yeah.
that all night. And like it's crazy that it's a 3-goal difference in this game because none of them were like really like all high middle of the slot goals. And I don't know if he just didn't have that in his wheelhouse tonight. But yeah, just really not really any great scoring and not really a ton of great chances either.
Yeah, also worth bringing up that in the third period it was switched over to Cam Talbot and Sogard was not on the bench. So, hey, might be the third goalie to get hurt for the Sens this season. Let's hope not, but
Jeez.
let's see what happens there. Also, I have to say Sogard through those first two periods, maybe he only had an 813 save percentage. I don't know if you saw the
Oh
result
man.
of the Sens Flyers game a couple days ago.
No.
But so that one went to overtime. Sens won in overtime, 5-4. The Flyers had 11 shots all game and scored 4 goals. So Cam Talbot, with one of the worst performances I've ever seen, but he goes 4 for 4 in the third period.
I forgot you messaged
tonight.
me about that. Yeah.
So just brutal. Also the Flyers hit the post in overtime, so technically Talbot was beat on 5 out of 12 shots. Anyway, so all that to say,
we care about the technicalities here.
all that to say, an 813 save percentage sounds pretty good to me right now.
Yeah, fair.
Other than that, I mean, as far like that's the thing, like I don't want to come across biased, even though I inherently I'm a Sens fan who hosts a Sens show, so obviously I'm going to come across biased no matter what. But just like to the best of my ability, his game just felt like a stinker. Like not even like a Leafs played like shit. Just overall, no one was really doing all that much flashy stuff. It just kind of just boring, Like what a shitty game. If somehow, if there's somehow somebody in Toronto that like has yet to be, introduced to the world of hockey, and they have a friend who says, listen, it's a big rivalry Ontario game tonight, let's watch
Yeah.
the game. That person's going to watch this game and go,
Yeah, Battle of Ontario. I don't know about it.
when like,
It's
I'd say if you watch I would say at least 60 games a year. If you're watching a Leafs game, you go, okay, wow, I get it.
yeah, absolutely. Watch anytime they play Carolina, like
Oh yeah,
electric. No matter the result, like electric hockey in those games. And it's as we talked about before, like the 4-4 game, almost just a week ago, was a great hockey game. Like that game had everything. And it's kind of shocking. Like, but you kind of get that when two teams know each other very well.
yeah,
And this felt like both of them dialed it up defensively, which unfortunately makes for a pretty boring game. But like we saw that battle between Kachuk and Shen,
and Shen, yeah,
and there was a lot of blocking. Like that was just a really good battle in general. But there was a
yeah,
lot of that where guys were like really getting shut down. Timmy Stu had a great defensive game. I thought
yeah.
that board play against Marner where he took the
Oh
puck
yeah,
off of him. Like you don't see a lot of guys strip Marner like that, but he stuck with him and like his play was phenomenal all game, but just never translated to any like really apparent scoring chances, which happens. But it's yeah, just a game of like a lot of good little things that you could watch if you were really focused on them,
mm.
but nothing like big about that game at all. That was
Yeah.
like an entertaining classic hockey game.
Because like yeah, even like like trying to give the Leafs credit as much as possible here. Like
You don't have
typically
to.
these games are usually wild. Like these games, the Sens Leafs games are usually like a spectacle. Like it's rough. There's usually a bunch of skill being shown. Like it's just kind of a bummer that
Yeah,
it's Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, and it's just kind of a stinker
yeah,
of a game. And I don't
yeah.
know if the Montreal Carolina game was much better. Um,
Well, and I would say I don't know about you for like where you are in terms of the Sens, but it's unfortunately like a game that doesn't benefit from where it is in the schedule either, where Toronto's kind of locked into their position and like 2 points, that's great for them, but it's not really going to change too much where they are in the standings. Like I don't know,
as far as
it's
like
so
home
weird with the
ice,
playoff form. Yeah, like I guess it gets you ahead of
because
Tampa
the
like
the
a
number
little
two
bit, like
team
gives
gets
you
home
more of a
ice,
cushion.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question. If I'm looking at the standings, um, welcome to Game Over Ottawa, where we talk about Maple Leafs so the Leafs have 4 points on Tampa, but never. Okay, the Leafs have 4 points on Tampa with 2 games in hand, so it's looking pretty likely that the Lightning are going to be in that 3 spot, and it looks like the Leafs are going to have home ice. The Tampa,
So
who is
I guess it's a bit of a big win, but
yeah,
I
I mean Tampa's also kind of turning around now. They've won 3 straight. They're 6-4 in their
yeah,
last 10. So
yeah,
you know what? Like, if there's a year to do it, it's probably this one. I mean, congrats, you
yeah.
beat Tampa. Have fun with Boston. It's one of those
I
things. But
I really I know I've been messaging you before. I was really hoping that the Sens would get into the playoffs because I thought there were shades of
yes,
Columbus and St. Louis in 2018. Is that the right year? Or 2019?
18,
2018.
19, yeah,
Yeah,
like the
because
18,
yeah,
19,
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, where they were dead
Yes.
last
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
January of 2019.
No,
Um,
exact. And then beat
But
Tampa
yeah, but
first
specifically,
round.
yeah, you did tell me specifically. You're like these Sens feel like the the 20. What year was that?
18, 19. Yeah. No,
Was it the
it's
2019
all confusing.
playoffs? Yeah, that must have been the
I think
2019
so.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was the year that Duchesne and Dzingel were traded to Columbus. So
Yeah.
yeah, that would have been 20. Yeah, the 2019 playoffs. Yeah, where
Yeah.
Columbus
That was
swept
a sick.
Tampa. Yeah,
Yeah. But again, like
and everyone's fucking playoff bracket went to shit. I lost $20 in my works fantasy pool. But I've made up for it. I won my brother's work playoff pool for him last year, and I got half the money for that. So I'll take it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a lot of pressure for me to repeat.
Excellent. Yeah, there
I don't know who my
always
cup
is.
pick is though, because I nail it because you get extra points for nailing the cup
No.
pick, and I pick Colorado. So I don't know. We'll get into that actually.
Nice.
Who
Yeah.
unless there's something else you want to talk about, Lightning Leafs matchup.
Yeah.
But off the top of your head, who's your cup pick right now? And is it as easy as just saying Boston?
No. I think the thing about Boston that I'm worried about for them, not that worrying about Boston or worrying for Boston is, chicken soup for the soul for me.
Yeah.
Trying to poke holes in the Bruins. I think they've knocked it out of the park with their goalies this year, and their goalie tandem obviously has been so historic. But one thing for Hallmark that I'm like not sure about is just the playoffs are so different, and this is a really good together team, but there are a lot of old guys on it, and you get the benefit of veterans like knowing what they can do and what they can get away with. But I could see this being a team a lot like sort of after the Hurricanes won, when they sort of were coming back in the mid 2010s, but always seemed to run out of steam in the third round. When they get beat, like they would do everything and scrap in 7-game series to get through the first 2 rounds. And I think the problem for Boston is going to be the wear and tear on a lot of these guys. Like you think of like your Bergerons, your David Krejcis, like they've been around for a while and they've been on a lot of these deep playoff teams. So sorry, the combination of an older team trying to run through the entire regular season, playing as well as they've played, and then the addition of the playoffs, that's a lot to put on a team. Like just the sheer run of them. There's a reason why a lot of Presidents trophy winning teams like don't go on to win nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
With that wear and tear. Like I don't know that I doubt they'll be bounced in the first round. But then also for Allmark, like it's a completely different experience in the playoffs. And if you don't have a tough, like we're not going to know. Like to me, that's a real question mark. As great as that tandem has been all year, it's untested in the playoffs. And then it's a question of if he goes down and they have to switch around who's starting, like can the backup bounce up to that level?
Yeah.
And
my only counterpoint to that is because they've both been so damn good. If one falters, I don't know how likely it is that both completely forget how to play.
No,
in the playoffs, right?
I think you could end up with like a Tuukka Rask, Tim Thomas situation, like their 2011 run, where Timmy stepped up, when he got his number called. But I do like, for me, it's just that is a question mark. Like as I'm not, there's no reason to be sus about the Bruins based on the regular season, but the playoffs are just such a different beast. And then even then, like it's like if we, God forbid, Toronto loses to Tampa, if Vasilevsky is the best player on the ice, then that's a near impossible team to beat. Like if he's the best player on the ice, and the same is true of like all these goaltenders. If you have the hot goalie, you can just ride them forever. So that's like it's literally the one area that I have any doubts about Boston. But you asked who I kind of, there's a part of me that hates to say it, but I kind of like Carolina this year. I think they're a good, like a well-balanced team, and Burns being there, I think I really like that for them too. And then obviously, like if Freddie heats up, he's got that.
Right.
He's that caliber of goaltender where, and he's getting older, so like even that's like Vicincy. I like them. I'm trying to think who I like in the West.
Because the West is like the East is so deep, and the West it's like Edmonton, LA looks good.
Yeah, I don't like
Colorado.
Edmonton. Honestly, after they picked up Korpisalo, they're really interesting. Like that would be my dark horse pick. Because that team is really hot right now, and they've added a stud in net. So
And got rid of
on a
Quick.
better team, yeah. Can you imagine you're you you're Columbus? We got Goudreau. Like we're all in this year. It's gonna be great. It's not. And then you're like, hey, here's this team that was supposed to be the team that we promised you this year. Go play with them at the end of the year. Okay, great. So, what a difference that is for that guy. That's awesome for him. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll say the Leafs. I think the Leafs have ridden a really interesting year. And this is the optimist in me. But based on last year with what Darcy Kemper was able to do for the Avs and just keep them in games and let the team that was built or that was already there and they just filled them in and net win and not be the reason that they lose, and that being enough kind of changed the dynamic for me, where like you get so used to Vasilevsky taking over games that it's like, oh man, how can you possibly beat this guy? But if you have like the ability to shell him, like Colorado was able to shell him and play great and give up a minimal number of opportunities to Kemper, then like he's done enough and he's not going to lose you games. And I kind of feel that like tonight with Samsonov's shutout, it's kind of like, well, Sens didn't have a lot of chances, like not enough chances to score. He made a few saves that he shouldn't have made. And he made all the saves that he definitely should have made. He made the save, bro. And if they can rally around that and play good enough hockey, then I think they really do have it. Like it's a well-built team. I don't know how Dubas has managed to do everything that he's done this year, like working with like this much cap. I don't know. There's a very long, sprawling answer that went to a bunch of different directions and eventually circled back to being, in my professional opinion, the Leafs will win the cup this year. So
I didn't know this was the direction it was going to go.
I appreciate that. As the other unbiased host of the Tonight Show. Saturday nights, I'm busy.
Oh man. That was a good answer.
Really long, really bad. I could have just said, I think the Hurricanes have a good shot. I don't know. The Wild, the Knights, the Kings. Knights are weird. That's a really weird situation. Speaking of like not having an answer in net, but an otherwise dominant team. I don't know about the Oilers at all either. Like, I think they're going to get tossed in the first round. What a bold move by the Oilers this year, by the way. Just be like, we have clear issues with our defense. Let's get Jack Campbell. Like, okay. What an interesting solution to having like a very observable problem or observable flaw and just not addressing it whatsoever.
Seriously. Just like
bold move. They are the same team that they have last year. I have no idea. Like if they make it to the finals, that's great for them. That probably means McDavid's playing out of his mind, which he's been doing all year. I have like who's the best defenseman on the Oilers?
Honestly, it might be Ekholm now that they've got him, but
I think it has to be
maybe Nurse. But I've seen a lot of Oilers fans like complain about Nurse a little bit this year. So I don't know.
No, and it's just like I think he's sort of the de facto best defenseman on that team, but I have no idea. Like he's been playing with no one for so long that I have no idea what his like potential is. Like it's to go back when like Riley was playing without anyone, or having to effectively play for both guys or having to like play with the worst defenseman on the team in order to make like to shore it up rather than to hit his full potential. like as soon as you have someone complimentary that allows you to use your full skill set, like I have no idea what kind of a player Nurse is at this point because he just hasn't had a ton of opportunities to, feel safe at home. I think it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been like. I mean, I don't think anyone ever looked at Darnell Nurse as like, oh, that's your number one power play quarterback ever. But he's never really had that chance because he's always been dealing with whether it's Oscar Klefbom or more recently Tyson Berry and now Evan Bouchard has stepped up and like so he's never really had that top power play spot. So you've never really seen him get to like produce that much with McDavid or Draisaitl or anyone. So
yeah.
Maybe he's just like the guy that occasionally gets you a few points and just kills guys. Like, and I mean, like that sounds good, but not at the fucking whatever, like $9 million he's making a year right now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think jury's very much out on them.
Well, I think with that, I think throwing shade at the Oilers is a great way to end the show. We've hit our time here, so I got no problem ending the show
being so
like
fast.
Fuck the Oilers.
I don't know if it felt fast for the viewers, but it felt very fast for me.
Man, it is wild how quickly a half hour goes by.
Wow,
it's crazy. But hey, man, if you had a good time, I would love to have you back on next year.
I had a great time, and I would love to be back next year.
Let's make it happen.
We'll bury the Oilers even more.
Yeah. Unless they win the cup this year, then in that case we gotta apologize.
Oh man, no, I refuse. You heard it here first.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, buddy. Also, one last question for you: do you find any kinship with Austin Matthews in being dude with strangely spelled Austin in Toronto?
Yes. Constantly.
Yes.
We talk about it every day. Text him every day about it.
I figured he probably hangs around the Sportsnet offices all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Just telling me to put in all of his 60 goals over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a deep secret. All of his goals this year are completely fabricated. That's just
so.
A big network. Yep. No.
I thought so. Yeah. You heard it here first. That's a Game Over Ottawa exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah. For all you Sens fans, only broadcasting in the Ottawa metro area and parts of Gatineau. All of Austin Matthews' goals are fake.
That's where we're going to end the show. We're going to end the show before they cut it off for us.
Conspiracy.
So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to Game Over Ottawa. Make sure to like the stream and subscribe to SDPN, and we will see you next time.
Man.
Game over! Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada Sportsbook.